Please don't do it.
Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Ahman Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Join alongside Tim in Green Bay. We got Emilio in Tennessee here to talk Packers, Bears, and more specifically, we're going to dive into this evening the Bears offense versus the Packers defense. We'll give you a full PFF preview, show you where their strengths are, maybe a weakness or two, as well as the Packers defense along the way. So that's what we're going to kind of dive into. This is the last segment we have until we get to the Packers-Bears matchup there on Sunday afternoon. Tomorrow we'll find some other stuff to get into for sure. I'm sure we'll deep dive a couple other areas of the game, but this is the final installment of the PFF preview in terms of the grades, their defense or their offense against our defense. So that's what we got on tap tonight. If you guys would, before we get into it, do that YouTube stuff, hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you talking Packers on the daily. So if you look for that type of content, make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. Gents, how we doing this evening? How we doing?
Great.
It's a beautiful Friday, man. We're here to talk some ball. Snow's flying up in Green Bay as we speak. We're about to put belt to ass to the Chicago Bears on Sunday. Feeling good, boys.
I'm digging it.
Thinking maybe I'll get a McGriddle tomorrow morning, Clay, and spend my week off right.
Could be a crackhead.
That's right. All about that McGriddle, man. McGriddle, just egg. Just plain egg McGriddle, man. Don't get any better than that. So I see the chat is already lit up. Appreciate everybody swinging through. We got Mr. Larry in the house. We got Doug. Looks like we got somebody going to the game tomorrow. Corey Murphy says, hey, guys, man, this time tomorrow I'll be in Green Bay. I am floored.
Here's the guy.
Right. And they asked him what row here. Doug did ask him, and he said 23. So
nice.
That's good seats right there. As United Bates said, Corey, I sat about in that exact area the first time I went to Lambeau. It was great. It's going to be an awesome game to go to, man, for sure. Because what are we expecting, Tim? It's like 17 degrees. Oh, now they're saying 13 degrees.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit chipper out there, and maybe a little flurries. You never know. Could be one of those legendary, Packers Bears at Lambeau type of vibe. So I would suggest at least a couple of layers if you're going to brave the elements out there on Sunday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fingers go first, fingers and toes, man.
That's
Bring a piece of card. If you're not buying one of the seat cushions, just go ahead and bring yourself some cardboard, and you'll be happy.
You know about that old trick, right?
Come on, dude. What do you think? I'm out standing outside all day long, Tim. You don't think I got a couple extra pieces that I just throw on the ground from the truck?
I love it.
You know the rule. If you're not packing airplane bottles, then make sure you're bundled up. All right, that's the only way.
That's
We'll
right.
hear the old ice bowl stories about guys that were liquored up that actually survived that being out there the whole game because of that. Right?
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. So, all right, let's jump into it. Let's waste no more time. Without further ado, whatever that means, let's get into the PFF preview. I think this is going to be a dandy, guys. They've got a hell of an offense, the Bears do. I'm telling you, man, when you look at their PFF grades across the board, let's start up front on their offensive line from left to right. They got the rookie Trapillos playing pretty good football, 66.2. Not bad for a rookie. He's graded out as the 43rd best offensive tackle. At left guard, they got the former All-Pro, multiple Super Bowl champion Joe Thuney. He's won a Super Bowl with the Patriots and the Chiefs. Got a lot of experience there in big-time games. And then, of course, the one that got away from us, Drew Dahlman, that was our pick for a free agent that we wanted signed this offseason. He continues to play really, really good football. 82.1 is his PFF grade there at the center position. At right guard, they have Jonah Jackson, former third-round pick drafted in 2020, having his best season to date, man. 74 grades so far. He's the 11th highest graded guard there, and I believe that does include left guard and right guard. And then, of course, you've got Darnell Wright from the University of Tennessee Volunteers, 6'5", 335. This dude's a mauler, former number 10 overall pick. His PFF grades in his young career are 62, a 79, and a 78. This offensive line got revamped. I remember us talking in the offseason about what the Bears did. There were some people that didn't like the approach they took because they signed some veteran type players as opposed to, maybe trying to stay a little bit younger. I looked at this offensive line and said they're finally learning their lesson and building in the trenches. The previous year, let's go out and get all these flashy receivers, right? You didn't even have your quarterback yet. And they finally started building in the trenches a bit, and I think it's paying off for this offense. I think what you would expect the Bears to do this offseason is go build the defensive trenches now, right? You've got Sweat, a good edge rusher, not great in my opinion, but if they continue to build in the middle on the defensive line like they have done the offensive line here, I think they're going to be in good shape. Of course, an extension of that offensive line is Colston Loveland, the rookie tight end. He's grading out a 75.6 his rookie campaign, another number 10 overall pick here from this previous draft. We had him pretty high on our draft board, if I remember correctly. You know where we had him? We had him number 2, didn't we? Had Ty Warren 1 and Colston Loveland 2 is where we had him sitting on our board.
13-1. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he was second tier there or third tier, so he's up there, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So again, man, you got to tip your cap to the Chicago Bears and how they built this roster. I think they've done a hell of a job building in the trenches there on offense. What's your all's take, with their offensive line? Because to me, the weak link does look like Trapillo. He's got the least amount of experience, right? He's a guy who's grading out the worst, albeit a solid grade for a rookie player, like we always talk about, grading out in the 60s in your rookie campaign. I would be looking to get Gary and Parsons lined up over him as much as possible. Now, you're probably going to want to kick Parsons inside from time to time, like we've been using him with the Joker 1. So if you go that route with playing him at the Joker, every time you do that, I'd love to see Rashawn Gary line up over Trapillo, if that makes sense. But what's your all's take on their offensive line here?
I think that makes a lot of sense because that interior wall looks pretty stout for Chicago from a PFS standpoint. So if you're in those Joker looks and you got Micah crashing in the middle, you're going to need some pressure off the edge and maintain that edge. And what better place to attack than the left side of that line, which, rookie player, lowest graded guy. That's where you want to attack schematically, I think. But I think your point's valid. I mean, in the interior of this line looks really good, and then all the way out to tight end with Colston Loveland. So, we can talk about this Bears run game all we want. It starts right there in the trenches. So this is what you live for. You want to see this D line banged up as we are going up against the Chicago Bears front. We're going to see who the men and the boys are on Sunday in the trenches for sure.
Absolutely. And Ozzie Trapillo, we had him at 72 flat. He was a Senior Bowl captain, and I'm pretty sure he's a wrestler as well. So that's a good pickup for him. He is a couple spots ahead of Anthony Belton, who we had at about 106. Not bad for a rookie, right? They're a lot of green up front there, but what are they going to do against some serious pass rushers? A formidable D line that we have. I think that we have the speed. I think they kind of handle power a little bit better. So maybe Micah has a day. I think Hafley's got to scheme some things up, and you just can't let Caleb slip away. I mean, if you keep the run game in check, we'll be all right. I think you can start to clasp down on Caleb after that.
Yeah, definitely. And with Trapillo, he met the Packers athletic threshold. He was a captain and a Senior Bowl participant as well. So he kind of checked a lot of the boxes, although he wasn't lit up in green for us or even gold, right? But again,
grading well into the 60s, like you said, as a rookie,
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be interesting to see how that offensive line holds up. I know we got a couple comments in here in the chat. As Chris the Casual Win says, Darnell Wright struggles with speed rushers, i.e. number 1. So maybe you do like that matchup of putting power on Trapillo with Rashawn Gary and then putting Micah Parsons, your speed rusher, out there on Wright and kind of test that a little bit. So that's a great nugget there. Appreciate that information, Chris. And then as Kyle Andretti says in the chat, their weakness in the O-line is their tackles. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that totally. Now, here's the cool thing. If you try to line up in the A gap, your nose tackle, and then a 3 technique on Micah's side, you can accomplish 2 things. You can make sure that their guard, one of their guards is going to be one-on-one with our 3 tech. And with the 1 tech, you can play a little touch spy that might be able to help neutralize Dahlman in the pass blocking scheme, right? You can kind of occupy that A gap and occupy both of those blockers in Tooney and Dahlman. And what that essentially does is it puts Trapillo on an island, we put Jackson on an island, and we put Wright on an island. And you really like your chances of at least one of those three guys winning their battle there. So at least consistently. So, all right, so when we look at our defensive line, this is from the nickel set. Keep in mind, guys, this is their 11 personnel, and this is our nickel. So I don't know why PFF has Sorrell lined up as the other defensive line. I know why they do Parsons like this, because when you look at how he rushes, he does rush inside quite a bit. So when we go to our nickel set, PFF is identifying that what we call Joker 1, that 3-3-5 look. So they like to put Parsons in the A gap. If that's the case, you got Rashawn Gary at a 68.2 on the outside, along with Enigbari with a 64.3. Micah Parsons, 91.9, just continuing to dominate. They've got Baron Sorrell as the other interior defensive tackle. That's just silly. I think it's going to be Colby Wooden and Warren Brinson. This is kind of what I'm expecting there on the inside. So if I switch it real quick to base, you can see Wooden is a 60.5, Brinson is a 50.8. Although I would remind everybody, Warren Brinson, his quarterback pressure percentage, according to NFL Pro, Next Gen Stats, GPS tracking, Brinson has a quarterback pressure percentage of 13.5%. That is the best among all of our defensive tackles, including Devontae Wyatt, who were somewhere around 8%, a little like 7.5, 7.8, something like that. So again, it's going to be Wooden and Brinson, I think, rotating. If you do go to that nickel 3-3-5 look, and with obviously Michael Parsons playing that Joker 1, but I think it'll look more like this on the front. Gary on one side, Parsons on the other, Brinson in the 3-tech, Wooden in the nose, if that makes sense, at the 1-tech. So does that kind of make sense to you guys?
Yeah, I think when you look at this matchup, it does. I would expect a heavier dose of Warren Brinson in this game than we've maybe seen the past few weeks. And I'm looking forward to it. This is what I talk about, right? You got a hell of an O-line. As Emilio would say, they built the wall there in Chicago. And, you want to see what these guys have, man. And I think Warren Brinson is cut from that cloth. I think he's going to execute. I would anticipate to see him well north of that 35-40 snap margin in this game, hopefully. And, the general, what can you say about Colby Wooden? Probably playing his best football since his time began here in Green Bay. Having a great year so far for him.
Tim, and for him, I'm hoping he has a breakout, honestly. I'm hoping he has a game where they start to, notice him, because, we slept on him just a little bit, and I'm sorry for it, Kobe, because I hope you tear it up, man. We need somebody on the inside. We really do. And the fact that he can flip, he can play 1, he can play 3, and just sort of add to that game. Now that Wyatt's out, next man up mentality, he's got to step up and make those plays. I was just poking through some of their offensive grades per game, and it seems like their O-line, at least 2 or 3 of them are in the top 5. It seems most of their games. So we basically need the Bears to have kind of a game like we had against the Browns. Like we just need that offensive line to just disintegrate is what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And you have to chip away sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes you all day long, and then you finally chip, and you're getting home right on time.
Yeah. Drew D says, would Hopper be Mike instead? I have not seen him play Mike much, if any at all. What we're noticing with him is when you play your underfront, he's the Sam on the line of scrimmage. At least he has been up to this point. So what's the film showing? Now, again, you can get really caught up in who's the Mike, who's the Will, who's the Sam. It all comes down to individual matchups on a weekly basis. That may completely change against the Bears. Those guys have to be very interchangeable, although McDuffie has been wearing the green dot. Right. And the majority of the time, what we're noticing is Cooper in the center of the defense, which would technically be the Mike, although McDuffie is wearing the green dot, and they'll typically refer to the green dot as the Mike. But again, I've always been taught the Mike, if you've got 3 linebackers, the strong side of the formation is the Sam, the weak side is the Will, the guy in the middle is the Mike. And in most cases, in that nickel 3-3-5 Joker 1, technically Micah is the Mike, but he's obviously rushing the quarterback. So I think we've seen 1 or 2 snaps where he done a fire zone blitz, like they did a fire zone blitz where he faked the rush and dropped back, right? And obviously you don't want to do that very often with how effective Mike is at rushing the quarterback. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question there. I think I see him more as a Sam than a Mike. Now, in an ideal situation, maybe he is better suited to be a Mock, right? But as Doug points out, Quay is back this week. It sounds like he's going to play.
Yep.
All systems are a go there. So now you got to make the tough decision, man. Do you pull McDuffie off the field when he's playing? I mean, we talked about the run stop rate. He's got a significantly higher run stop rate than Quay Walker does. His PFF grade is through the roof with an 80. He's the 8th highest graded linebacker right now. Quay, of course, PFF has never liked Quay. You can take that however you want.
Right.
But when you do compare the PFF grade to the run stops, the hustle stops, and the passer rating when targeted, McDuffie is having a significantly better year than Quay Walker up to this point. Now, that could change. McDuffie could be cheeks the rest of the year, and Quay could take that next step now that he's healthy and just blow up, right? So I think it's going to be interesting. I want to get your all's take on that. When it comes to this linebacking core, how do you think they're going to do it? Do you think they're just going to throw Quay right back out there, put the green dot on him, and he's just going to start? Or do you think it would be there's a chance that maybe they let McDuffie wear the green dot and they rotate Quay in at that Sam spot where Hopper's been filling in?
That's kind of the trick, right? You can only have one green dot on the field at the same time. So unless we've got removable stickers or an extra helmet and we can get them both on the field at the same time, and one's wearing a green dot, the other isn't. My personal opinion, it's Quay's job. He's missed the last couple of weeks with that nasty stinger. I think they put him back out there, man. I think you want to get him going early and get him settled. This is a huge game, divisional game, rivalry game in the elements. That's Quay's spot. And that's not to take anything away from the way Zay McDuffie's been playing the last 2 weeks. He's been playing, with his if he had hair on top of his head, it'd be on fire. He's been playing absolutely lights out. But my gut's telling me Quay's going to be out there. I think that'll be the foot they put forward in this one.
Yeah.
Maybe on a snap count, maybe, ready to pull him at any minute if something doesn't look right. But I think they put him out there full bore, kind of like we did with Scoot. When Scoot was back, we didn't hesitate at all. We threw him out there, and he's looked good ever since.
Right, and I think you're right, Tim. Yeah, if we have to, McDuffie get him a non-dotted helmet and bring him out there for the Sam. It's not like we have to take him off of our Sam packages if Quay starts. But I'm with you there. I think that you just go back and put Quay out there. He doesn't need to learn the defense again. He doesn't. He didn't miss anything. He was there, I'm sure, learning everything. And you listen to Marshawn Lloyd. He took tests. He was still in all the meetings. He was still taking the Saturday tests. All that stuff is still happening every week. So it's not like Quay's behind. And
right.
You've heard Half talk about how he can already finish the sentences, and we're lucky though. Halfley did say, hey, they lost comms at 16 or whatever, and Halfley was saying in the box, hey, slide the line to the right, and as he was saying it, McDuffie already did it on the field, without even that communication. So he knows what he's doing out there. But I kind of look at McDuffie kind of like Eric Wilson last year. When everyone was calling for Eric Wilson to be the starting might get rid of Quay because Eric Wilson had 3 or 4 games that he was really crushing it. And that's not a dig at McDuffie. I'm just saying I think we need to stick with, who was obviously there to start with at the beginning of the season. Let Quay go back, do his thing, bring McDuffie in as Sam. Let McDuffie go back out there, on 80% of the special team snaps and get your captain back out there. But that's kind of where I'm at with it.
If it were me, I would leave McDuffie out there, play the hot hand, and ease Quay back in to the rotation because he's coming off injury. If I had to put money on what they're going to do, I think they're going to throw Quay back out there, right? That's kind of how I see it. So, and I don't think either is a bad plan or a bad idea. It's just with what McDuffie has put on tape here lately, man, it really does stick out. It's like, holy cow, this dude, he's playing some of his best football. There's no hesitation.
Oh, yeah.
He plays downhill, all that. So. Going to be interesting to see what they decide to do there for sure. And again, of course, Edgerrin Cooper continues to play solid, man. 74.8. Just what a hell of a football player he is. He's becoming. And again, last year he graded on 85.6. You go, he took a step back, guys. This is so rare right here your rookie year, and the fact that the sophomore slump is still a 74.8. I mean, you're probably going to see him hop right back up in the 80s. He's going to be one of those players that I don't want to compare him to Fred Warner. Fred Warner, I think, is a borderline Hall of Famer, but that's kind of how Fred Warner's career just took off right out of the gate, right? It kind of feels like one of those type of players for sure. So that's really, really exciting stuff. Hopper, 73.9, not bad. Continued off of what we've seen in the preseason. You see a snap count obviously going up when Quay got hurt. So 12 snaps in week 12. 18 snaps in week 11, 18 snaps in week 12, and then 17 snaps there in week 13. He did become that third linebacker. How do you guys feel about what Tyron Hopper's put on tape so far?
Loving it, man.
Yeah.
Loving it. Like you getting an egg only McGriddle at McDonald's. You're loving it, man. I love this draft pick. We probably wanted to see more of Tyron Hopper sooner than we have to this point, but I think what we've seen thus far is great. And you talk about special teams reps too, what he brings to the field is great. But getting to see him in the mix in some of these actual in-game reps, he's looked really good. Really good for a guy who is kind of not seen a lot of time in those situations. I think at the very least, you don't have anything to worry about if you got Tyron Hopper out there at the Sam. Feel really good about how he's playing.
Yeah, Hopper is that McDuffie replacement, that McDuffie backup, and I'm, it just like I've said it before, it just helps getting him reps. The fact that he got another 30 reps, and you look, he had 35 on the D line. The dude's at the line of scrimmage. Him being, they say 6'2", 220. I bet he's put on a little bit since he's been in the league. I'd say he's probably close to like 230 right now. But getting those experiences, getting that chance out there, it's only going to help us. He was a third round pick, like Tim was saying, for a reason. They saw something in him. He just hasn't had a chance to get out there because Coop tore it up. And you got your baseline with McDuffie. I think you need to get him reps. It's perfect that it happened. All right, maybe put him back in the hopper for a little bit, no pun, and then let it go.
Yeah, and it is interesting. Like we said, we said he's mostly lined up as a Sam and kind of on the line of scrimmage when you're playing that under front. D-line, like you said, Emilio, 35 snaps on the D-line. That's that Sam position we're talking
absolutely.
about, right? It's almost like you're playing edge, essentially, with a wide 9 look. In the box and in the slot, 20 snaps. So obviously that's him playing stack backer. Would comprise of both of those snaps.
But I love that he has that he has that speed while being on the D line. You know what I mean? Like he has that flexibility, and you rely on him as a backer. Okay, he's learning all stack backer, but basically, dude's playing edge in a 3-4 kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so looking at let's look at their quarterback and running back for just a second here. Caleb Williams grading out as the 18th best quarterback at a 72.7. However, when you look at the pass grade, a 66.8. We kind of talked about that. So if you just went strictly off the passing grade, I want to say he's somewhere around 24th or 25th, actually 23rd. It's right there. So his running grade of 84.6, third best amongst quarterbacks. That's the reason his grade has jumped up to a 72.7. Again, keep him from doing that. Don't worry about getting sacks. Bring that cage rush. Keep him in the pocket. Play a little touch spy in the middle with the nose tackle, and make him throw the football. And your top emphasis needs to be on stopping this running game. As you can see here, DeAndre Swift, a 74.7. He has, in terms of yards per carry, he's in the top 10 along with Monangai, his backup, obviously, another solid player. Let's see if it triggers Monangai at all. Probably won't. Still Swift back there, but Monangai's grade, his production is very, very similar. Some people believe Monangai is actually a better running back than DeAndre Swift, and I can't argue with that. He runs with a little more power. He's got good pad level, good contact balance. He takes everything the defense gives him. It's going to be a lot of fun trying to see if this Green Bay Packers defense can slow down this run, because they got a two-headed monster. That's something Detroit didn't have. Although the way we shut down Jahmyr Gibbs, I feel confident we can do the same thing with these running backs. You just got to be willing to adjust very, very quickly, guys, because we know Ben Johnson is going to be scheming up some really weird stuff in the running game like he always does.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just talking about the running backs. That last game against Philly, DeAndre Swift was their best rated offensive player at 87.5, 46 total snaps. Monangai had 39 snaps with a 75.6. There was a top 2 best graded players where they're running backs at a tandem. Seems like they're running them at least 25, 30 snaps a game, both of them. So you have to be ready for both. It's not like you can pick and choose. And they're going to be fresh, right? We talk about the hockey line for our D line. They're going to be fresh, only running 25s apiece. So we need to be ready to stop the ball. Get yourself a lead, get ahead. They can't lean on the run as much. Maybe we just look at swing passes, screens, stuff like that.
I agree. I mean, don't forget they got 3 running backs, right? Don't forget about number 18 out there, Mr. Williams. I mean, it's like a third running back. And that's maybe how you address this. But you can't get caught sleeping in the pass game either. We can't afford to mail that in because Mr. take my shirt off, Mr. Get ready to go himself he's gonna dial up some stuff, I think, in this game. I think the Bears know that they're not gonna leave 1265 with a victory if all they can do is run the ball. I think they have to have some semblance of a passing attack, and we can't afford to get caught sleeping in those looks when they do try to hit those checks and those swings.
Yeah, completely agree. Joe Pack Joe says, man, these Bears running backs don't impress me. I know they're getting hot because of the yards on Philly, but checking throughout the year, I ain't seeing nothing to fear. So Joe Pack Joe is not impressed at all. I will tell you this, Philly's run defense is pretty bad. It's somewhere around 17 or 18. Right. And of course, now it sounds like I believe Jalen Carter is going on IR or having some kind of procedure done on his shoulders. So he obviously wasn't the best version of himself against Chicago there either. But nonetheless, it's more about the scheme than it is these individual running backs for me, Joe. You can't get caught. If you go out and you watch their last 4 game saturation, right, and you go, okay, this is what they like to do in the running game, and they give you the same look pre-snap and do something the opposite, that's how they're getting these gashers on people. That's what happened to Philly. Now, I will say this. When you look at Evan Williams and how he's played, Evan Williams, what really flashes on the tape to me is him being able – and McKinney too, both of them have solid run defense grades – is them playing that shell look, and then late rotation, as soon as the ball snapped, they come flying down into the box.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that the quarterback comes to the line of scrimmage, he surveys the field. I like my hat count. Can. We're going to go 21 right or 23 or 23 left. All right. Ball snapped. All of a sudden, you got an extra hat in the box because they're screaming down because they may be playing a cover 3 buzz, or it could be the fact that they may be running weak side and we're running a cover 6. When they're running weak side, guess what? That deep half, not so concerned with the pass because they're probably going to go field side with the passing concept, so he can be a little more aggressive coming down. And when you're in cover 6 match, you have deep half responsibilities, but if it's truly match coverage, that corner on the half side takes anything vertical. Right. So unless there's a number 2 over there, which in that case, if they're in a trips or a Trey Wright, would be the running back, it might as well be man coverage on the running back, i.e. a run blitz for the safety screaming into the box. So that's the thing that stood out to me about Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney. You see Evan Williams here at the safety position. Run defense grade 76.9. Mm-hmm. He's just been lights out. He leads the Packers in interceptions this year as well. And when you hop over to McKinney, similar thing. Run defense grade 80.6. And they will blitz him from time to time. His pass rush grade at 87.8. They're not scared to put him down there in the slot from time to time. And look, 251 snaps in the box for Xavier McKinney playing spur, and then 201 snaps for Evan Williams. Remember what we talked about the last few years? You got to stop thinking strong safety and free safety. Mm-hmm. They're very interchangeable in today's game. And
they're a two-headed monster back there.
Oh, yeah.
They'll blitz Evan Williams, too. They're not afraid to send him.
Right.
And it sounds silly, but, linebackers are most comparable to running backs, right? But when you look at where does a running back line up at? The farthest position away from the defense. Where does the safety line up at? The farthest position away from the offense. They're very similar in how they attack each other, the safety position compared to the running back position. Go ahead, Emilio. What were you going to say, man?
No, that's exactly it, Clay, because they're playing top down with such force, and they don't care, right? You have faith that, all right, when I'm heading downhill, I got X back there. I got Evan Williams back there. And they're both playing great. 70s, I can't believe the Giants let X go, and I can't believe that we picked up Evan. Evan has stuck Caleb before when they played Oregon USC. So there's things there. You have a little bit of their game. Maybe you want to drop Evan in and he's your spy, and you're doing something else with the linebackers. Or there's so many other things Hafley can do. And I think you're right. If we get an opportunity, they're not afraid to kind of bend the rules. We saw it with that one on Chalk Talk where X kind of really slammed down. Maybe it was a cover 2, maybe it was a 3 buzz, but X really pinched on the seam route coming across on that crosser just because he saw it and he was attentive to it. So I think that they have a lot of freedom with that, and they just know where they need to get to on their spots and be able to still be in position to do their 1/11th on that play.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. And again, when you kind of look at what the Packers have done, you get a good mix of everything, right? You get cover 6, you'll get some Tampa 2 in there, a little cover 2 match. We've seen it all. We first half of the season, really the first third of the season, we've seen a lot of cover one man. You guys remember that? Now, remember what Hafley said. He already had his second installment, his adjustment ready.
Yeah.
So what was the adjustment? Getting back into cover 6, Tampa 2, things like that, right? So it's been a lot of fun to kind of see this defense continue to evolve. Now, again, everything's cyclical in the league, so don't be surprised if cover one man comes back later if something triggers that for Hafley to start
I
calling.
was going to say, are you worried, or would you be worried about throwing some cover one hole or Robert? Are you worried about the corners on the outside covering these receivers at all, putting them on an island?
I'm not necessarily worried about them being on an island. I'm more worried about the running game against man coverage.
Yeah,
right.
it,
yeah. So that's why I would really sit in match and spot drop is what I would play. What I would do if I were them is I would continue doing what you do well, show and shell, a late rotation to get those guys in there to get an advantage on the hat count, or at least match the hat count. Right. Get Caleb to check into run plays that he thinks, oh, we've got them licked here. Because again, you ran on Philly. Guess what Philly runs? Fangio's scheme. Guess what Fangio's scheme is? Quarters. They play too high shell, and those safeties don't come screaming down like ours. Now, the problem with that is if they go boot action off of that, and that safety screaming in and bites on the boot action, that's where they can hit you in the pass. I would much rather make Caleb Williams convince me I can beat you by passing within the pocket than to just kind of play it even kill and let them run the football. And again, I think this defense can stop the run. Mm-hmm. I think they can stop the Chicago Bears run. It's just Ben Johnson's going to throw a lot of little nooks and crannies at you. He's going to show you a sift and go out the back door, right? They're going to try to steal a gap in some of those games. There'll probably be some pin and pull. That hell, he may break out the power run a little bit this week. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things he can do. And he ain't afraid to run a jet sweep, and he damn sure ain't afraid to throw to the quarterback off a jet sweep, a double reverse pass or whatever, right?
I was just going to ask you, what can you click on Colston Loveland again? What's his run blocking grade?
Solid, right? 68.9.
Yeah. Yep. So not just a pass catching threat, but dynamic tight end. Gotta account for that.
He's a great tight end, man. He really is. If he continues to, the only thing that's down on him is EPA, right? Like, or is it, completion trying to think. EPA, and there was some other kind of advanced metric that, ironically, Bears fans think is just fake stats. But boy, I'm like, too bad y'all. I sent a tweet out the other day. Too bad y'all think those are fake stats, because this is the only thing lacking in Colston Loveland's game, or else, man, this dude, he's on track to be a very, very, very good tight end. Now, they've convinced themselves he's better than Tucker Kraft. He is nowhere near Tucker Kraft's production and grades and everything else. But with that being said, Colston Loveland, Tim, he's a good balanced tight end, man. And he came from Michigan. Michigan ran the hell out of the rock, right?
Yep. So, absolutely.
Yeah. Reggie with the super chat. Thank you so much, Reggie. Appreciate you. With how good Jacobs and Wilson have been playing, when he's fully healthy, how do you feel about trying Lloyd at kick returner? That's a great question. I think it's Regul. I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong there, but that's a good question. I don't remember if he returned kicks in college. Do you guys recall him returning kicks in college? I don't remember it being a part of the scouting report. Now, could he do it? Possibly, because the new kick return rules are set up really more for a running back than a speed demon kick returner, like a traditional kick returner. But how do you guys feel about that? Because me, on the surface, I personally don't like it, because Lloyd, it's just another way for Lloyd to get hurt, right? And I think that you've got to protect him from himself. It's not like he's playing soft out there. It's not like he's a soft football. If anything, he's just going 110 miles per hour, right, all the time, every snap. And as people have said in the past, great players in the past, one of the things that differentiates the great players from the good players is knowing when to take a play off, but not hinder your team, and then full throttle on the most important plays. So I don't know. I on the surface, I would say no to that, but how do you guys feel about Marshawn Lloyd being a kick returner?
I'm a little the opposite, but kind of the same. Like, on the surface, I would say, hell yes. Does it get Marshawn Lloyd on the damn football field? Can we watch him playing football? Yes. But then I would say no, because of your point. If it sets him back and gets him injured and we don't get to see him carrying the ball for us, I'm not a big fan. I will say this. There is some validity to the thought, because this will be the second week in a row without Savion Williams. So, we need a kick returner. I think it's almost all hands on deck at this point, especially as we, grind out this season and go into the playoffs. So I'm with you, but from a different perspective. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing him out there, but I do agree that you almost don't want to risk it at this point with all the ups and downs he's had with the injuries.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm kind of there too, Tim. You know, I love his explosiveness. What it would happen when he gets out there, and you heard him in his presser. Yeah. What could you do for this team, or what will you do getting back there? He said, whatever the team needs me to do, I'll do. So that kind of mentality and effort, I think, you know, that's the right attitude. And it's not like we hadn't asked Matthew Golden to do it, but I did do some digging. It doesn't look like out of the 21 games in South Carolina and then the 11 at USC, I don't see any returns for punts or kicks on his stats. But that doesn't say that you wouldn't give him a shot. But because they also were asking, I think Steno or somebody, or maybe it was Rich, about putting Jaden Reed back out there. You know, when he gets back, is he going to be out there?
Lord have mercy, please no.
So I if it's one or the other, Marshawn Lloyd, you're our new kick returner, my man. I got the 95 speed. I'm taking that thing to the house every time.
Hey, I just got one word. Actually, it's two words. It's a first and a last name that just popped into my head. Will Shepherd. That's all I got to say.
Do they still have him though, Tim? I thought did they cut him? I think they cut him already.
I had another one.
He's not on the
cheese curds and my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
Yeah, Bo's another option too. But
Right.
Shepard's not on the. They didn't re-sign him to the squad.
I may have dreamed it. You guys double check that for us in the
You gotta
chat.
verify. Where's
Yeah.
Jamie Bates?
Yeah.
In the chat to help us.
I may have dreamed it, but I think I seen the other day. Damn, Will's already gone. It reminded me of Wesley Snipes in Major League when he said, "Damn, I'm good already." So,
Well, if that's true, then he's probably signed somewhere else. I would anticipate he got snatched up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, for me personally, when it comes to kick return, I want Savion back there. If Savion can't do it, I'd love to have Bo back there. They obviously trust Bo, right?
Yeah.
They trust him in terms of the end arounds and things like that with his carrying ability and protecting the football. So, but just to me, Marshawn Lloyd doesn't look like a kick returner. When you watch his USC tape, he ran a lot of power. A GT power is what they ran.
Yeah.
So,
and he could catch the ball. I mean, he still had, he's a pretty good receiver out of the backfield too. So that's an opportunity for him. But you're right. I don't want him, full tilt trying to crack into somebody. You got the dirty kicks now that they do on kickoffs, different, angles, the ball. I mean, that's the last thing we need. The dude comes back from an injury. You set him out there. He fumbles it or something crazy, and everybody wants him off the team. I mean, you won't hear the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. And as Dave Fish said here, yes, so I was right. They did cut Will Shepherd, so they had to cut him, and then they signed him back on the practice squad. So he is on the practice squad.
Okay.
So that is something you could call him up, Tim, right, and activate him. That might be the plan with Savion out. Who knows? So they also got the big boy there, though, the extra defensive tackle, right, that they signed Jordan Riley. So I think he'll stay active this week. They'll probably try to use, have him as a backup plan in the trenches, I would imagine. But we'll see, especially with this running attack they're going up against. So Chris says, Clayton, what about punt returner? Seems like more of an issue to me than kick return. I got to be honest with you. I like Romeo doing punt returns. I want somebody – my top priority with punt returner is don't fumble the damn football. Catch the ball and don't fumble. Don't muff.
Yep.
And I think Dobbs gives us the best opportunity to do that. And I think
he know the right time to signal fair catch and when to let it drop. That's another, decision making is huge too.
Right, because how big was that fumble against the Vikings when Whelan knocked it back there, fumble, boom, game swing right there, done. You're inside the 10, it's over.
Yeah, that's the approach I would take. But again, it's not that Romeo Dobbs is a home run hitter or anything, right? It's just first and foremost, if you don't have a fast guy on the roster to return punts that can catch the football, I would much rather just settle for someone who could catch the ball and gain 6 yards, gain 4 yards.
I just caught the ball.
Exactly right. That's all that matters to me. So that's kind of how I see
he doesn't need to be blazing fast as a punt returner, right, Clay? Everyone's sprinting down to you. You make a couple side steps, you can get yourself 12 yards, no problem.
As Bates says here, I like Dobbs back there just to secure it. I think it's been 11 years since we had a punt return for a touchdown, but most in that time. Amen. That's perfectly said, Bates.
Yeah.
Perfectly said.
Spot on.
Yeah. So Amelia, you kind of asked about us covering these receivers. We kind of skipped over it there. That's my fault. So Luther Burden is grading out as their best receiver at a 73.2, although DJ Moore has the best stats right now. They've got Zacchaeus in the slot at 59.5. So he's not grading out very good. Now you guys are going, where's Rome Odunze? If you guys didn't hear the news, we did a breaking news episode earlier. Rome Odunze is out for this game. He's their leading wide receiver. He average yards per catch, the whole 9 yards, PFF grade, everything. He is their best receiver this year. He is out. So that tells me they're probably going to press a little more into 12 personnel, I would imagine. But if they do decide to go with this 11 personnel right here, you're going to hear DJ Moore is going to get his.
Yeah.
But again, it's going to take Caleb Williams checking the ball down constantly. I would make Caleb beat you over the top. And once that happens, then you can adjust. But until then, stop the run and make Caleb stand in that pocket knowing that Micah Parsons is coming after you. That would be the game plan for me. A lot of cover 6, a lot of cover 3 match, a little Tampa 2 look. The invert 2, I could see Caleb throwing a pick on invert 2 just like that, because, again, he's not the best at reading defenses for sure. But that's kind of how their receivers sit. Our corners matched up against them, if we go back to nickel, is Carrington Valentine is a 67.0. You've got Keyshawn Nixon, a 65.8, and Javon Bullard is a 67.9. Of our starting corners, it's Bull. However, Bullard did not practice all week, and Matt's saying it's going to be a game-time decision. So there's a chance that Bullard comes out and Hobbs goes in at the slot. Now,
I ain't worried about Nate Hobbs handling what's his name?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
I ain't
what
worried
Nate-
about Nate Hobbs in the slot. I think we're good.
That's what Nate Hobbs is built for, is the slot
Right.
too,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I think I think if he's fully healthy, if Hobbs is fully healthy and he plays the slot, people are going to come away going, okay, that's why we signed him, as opposed to. And again, he plays physical. His run defense has been good this year. That'll help with those run fits, especially if they try to run out of 11 personnel, where they have a better rushing EPA than out of 12 personnel. Now, if they do go to 12 personnel, this is what that looks like. Their other tight end is Cole Kmet, 65.1. So they've got a solid tight end tandem. You can see Cole Kmet uglier than sin, but he is graded out pretty darn well throughout his career here, right? 57, 63, 67, 73, 60, 65. That's pretty consistent, especially for your backup tight end now that Colson Loveland's taken over. He's
Check
6'7",
that.
60.
Snaps by position, Clay. One there at quarterback. So we either got a little sneak or you get a little, throwback pass, just something you got to keep an eye on. And that's where you've got 60 snaps in the game, 40, 60 snaps. You're playing defense each time, and you're always trying to remind yourself, keep an eye out for like a trick, keep an eye out for a reverse here. And there's just so many different things throughout the game you got to, keep your eyes focused on. I think Hafley's got to have a real good game here, Colin.
Yeah. And Reggio says, thanks for answering, fellas. I figured why not toss the idea out there about Lloyd? And they may see it that way, Reggio. Thank you for the super chat, but we're not saying that's a bad idea or it's stupid or the coaches would never do it. That might be the plan, right? Just based off what I've seen, I think I would stick with Romeo on punt returns, Savion when he's healthy on kick returns, and maybe just continue with Bo Melton. Because didn't Bo Melton get a couple kick returns? Am I thinking right, guys? I want to say he's going to turn over.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think they trust Bo pretty much anywhere on the field.
Right.
Like other than QB or kicking or something. I think they're comfortable with him just anywhere he's needed, really.
Right, because Rich was talking about I think it was when Savion was out, or when Savion was in, they wanted to go to a 10 blocker scheme up front on the kick return. So they kind of brought Bo out of that. Then you go back up to the 10 up front. When they were kind of both back there, they were on a 9 block scheme. So there's just he said that's kind of just going to be interchangeable the rest of the year, flipping back and forth. And that's just another part of the game. You got to be ready for the dirty kicks. How many are returning back there? How many we got blocking? And where can we get up on one?
Let's not forget, last time the Bears came to Lambeau, they got us with the okie doke too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The
Teams.
fake.
So
Yep.
we need special teams to be on point on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. The size of these chats are driving me crazy. I don't know why. I don't even know. I don't think there's a way to change it either, which is crazy to think about. But anyway, Emilio's just hanging up there like an elf on the shelf right now. Look at my guy. Joe Pack Joe says, did y'all see the Dan Orlovsky clip where everyone was excited about the Caleb throw to commit? And he goes, Jordan Love does that multiple times a game. Man, they death stared that man, speaking facts. It is funny how they'll take just a throw or two of Caleb Williams and act like he's doing that all year long, and it's just not the case, right? Jordan Love does it every single week. He makes those throws, and he's still his adjusted completion percentage is still like top 5 in the league, right? So Caleb, obviously, I think he was 44th in the league, 43rd or 44th in adjusted completion percentage. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me one bit there, Joe. Doesn't surprise me one bit. There's something I know what it is. We've talked about it time and time again. These large market teams, Chicago, the Jet. How many times have the Jets been rammed down our throat over the years, right?
Mhm.
Because they're a huge market team. Same thing with the Giants. Same thing with Chicago, right? That's those teams. They will cater to those big market teams. They know the amount of viewers that are tuning into their show because there's more people in those big cities. That's why they cater to it. And again, let them do their thing. It's cool. And when they fall flat on their face again, then they'll pretend like, okay, we didn't say that. They'll steer the conversation a different direction. And then this offseason, they'll be talking about how they're Super Bowl bound again, right? So, Biz 1987 with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Micah pointed it out. Respect. We might be the first team to not underestimate this Bears team. This is playoff football. Amen.
Yep.
It is playoff football across the league right now, too. And I did a little playoff preview earlier, and boy, it's like, man, in a blink of an eye, this team can go to the 1 seed. There's like 4 different teams that can jump to the 1 seed at any moment. You know, it's just really, really cool. This time of the year is absolutely awesome. So what were you laughing about, Emilio? You getting in trouble in the chat?
Chat's out of hand.
Unbelievable. Biz, thank you
about Emilio getting over the wall. That's all.
Hey, I'm glad he's here, man. It worked out, right?
See?
So, yeah. Yeah, looking like Wilson over the fence, right? From what was that?
Home improvement.
Home improvement.
Tim the Tool Man Taylor. Come on now.
I always want to call it Tool Time. I'm like, no,
that was the show, right?
That was the show on the show.
Yeah.
Let's see what Doug says here. 670 to score in Chicago. We're saying Bears DBs are going to feast on those type of throws from Love. They have zero awareness of teams outside of the Bears. Do they not watch tape? Do they all run on ROM? What's the ROM mean there?
That's old school techie talk, right?
Oh, okay. So we're okay. I got you.
ROM, read only memory, and
it
Bears
is funny.
fans don't have memory. They would remember that they still suck if they did.
It is funny because you can tell which shows, which radio programs, which YouTube shows don't watch other games. You can tell I don't watch a whole lot of other games because there's times that I'll comment on a team and their fans will comment on the video and be like, no, you got that wrong. That was this player. You know what I mean? It just kind of goes without. But I try not to act like I know everything about that team and beat them down like as if I'm some expert on that specific team. It is wild how they just kind of it's just generalities that they speak in, you know, from time to time.
Platitudes. So, yeah.
Jerry said, going to go search for that Dan Orlovsky clip. I thought about pulling it up, but we're already out of time here. But yeah, they definitely need to go check it out for sure. Because again, Dan is one of those guys that he's going to constantly cater to the quarterback. Whatever quarterback he's talking about, he's going to try to paint a picture of why they aren't as bad as some people are saying, or they're way, way better than even people are giving them credit for, right? That's typically how that goes. Same thing with offensive linemen typically. Former offensive linemen will, when an offensive lineman's getting raked over the coals, it's, well, what do you want him to do there? Well, you know, you're just seeing the 1 or 2 bad plays. You're not seeing all the other great plays. So that's just typically how that works, you know? So, anything else you guys want to hit here? I'm just kind of combing through the chat. Anything at all before we wrap up? We're at the 48-minute mark.
You see Wicks got the Nickelodeon award?
Yeah.
The slime? Yeah. I love Jaden Reed's energy, dude. Him just bringing it in with the hat. You take the slime hat, okay? What do you got for us, Wicks, here? Come on, Don.
I'm not going to lie. I was faded. I ain't going to lie. I was faded. Like,
Jaden Reed is a cornerstone of this team.
Absolutely.
Everybody loves him, dude. I love the fact that he was so messed up in the hospital after surgery. The first thing that was on his mind was, we're going to the bowl as soon as he woke up. We're going to the bowl.
Come on now.
Love it, dude. Had me cracking up the whole time. So anything else you boys want to hit? Anything?
Yeah, Biz 1987. All this analysis is great and all, but we got to take a page out of Ricky Bobby's book. Look, I'm the best there is. The end. You ain't first, you're last, and the Bears still suck.
He said, I've lived my whole life by that. He said, I was probably high when I told you that. What he
you can
said.
be second, you can be third, you can be fourth.
You can be fourth. What did he say? He had a kilo of Colombian Bam Bam taped to the bottom of the car. And the tops were coming. I need to go watch that. We watched
Oh,
that.
that's what it was. Too old for this guy. He was high
That's
on
right.
peyote when he said that.
There you go. Man, I'm telling you, we watched that in the pool this year. That was one of the. I was like, you know what I want to watch? We got a TV on mounted to the back of the house, like a couple rednecks out there next to the pool. I was like,
I
I want
love
to watch
it.
Talladega Nights. Man, he's like, you serious? Damn, I'm fired up.
Fire that thing up.
It's so hilarious. Please be 18. Every line in that movie is just hilarious, dude. So good. All right. Anything else? Anybody else in the chat here? We good? We got all the super chats, right? We got everybody their money's worth. Probably didn't give their money's worth, but we read their comment, right?
Right.
But all right, let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. It's been a long week. We've covered a lot this week. It's been a lot of fun too, man. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. If you were new here, this is your first time tuning into PTA. Thank y'all for making us a part of your evening. You can see the regulars in here having their conversations, but hit that subscribe button, man. Be a part of it. Click that bell icon so you're notified when we do go live anytime here in the future. I'm sure I'll do multiple streams again tomorrow. We'll see what we're going to do tomorrow evening. If y'all want to try to do a stream, we'll see what everybody's plans are. But man, game day is going to be here in the blink of an eye. Got a lot of awesome college football tomorrow. We get the conference championships, SEC championship, Big Ten championship. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know the Big Ten folks are pissed because they didn't get any respect. Number 1 and the number 2 team in the country, and College Game Day said, we'll go to the SEC championship. But that kind of blew me away. I ain't going to lie, man. I expected them to go to the Big Ten championship for College Game Day. However, we know ESPN is on. College Game Day is owned by ESPN, and ESPN is the SEC, flagship, I guess you could say. The SEC network is owned by ESPN. So me and Emilio can talk crap about the SEC because we're down here in it, right?
Yep.
It's funny.
Down in the trenches.
Any Big Ten fans up north, and they talk about the SEC, boy, everybody bucks up down here. Like, who the hell you think you are? And anybody in the South down here that talks about Big Ten, the Big Ten fans are like, who the hell you think you are, right? Me and Emilio's down here, and I'm telling you, there's a bias. These people think they created football. And, it's funny. I like ticking them off every now and again, man.
Oh, yeah. The radio calls are the best. Listen to them after the game, and the next day after the game, man,
the only thing better than listening to Knoxville sports talk when I lived down there after a win is listening to it after a loss.
Oh,
If you're not a fan, it's better. It's Jerry Springer on crack. I'm just telling you, it is so good. It's such.
Oh yeah.
And of course, the Paul Feinbaum show. I don't know if you guys ever watch it. My God, it is. I'm telling you, it's every redneck from Arkansas, Alabama, all throughout the South, just calling in and complaining about their team and each other. It is so good, man. But anyway, I can't believe college football season's already over, essentially. That went by so fast, man. So fast. And we're going to blink and be talking about the draft. That's going to happen. So you got to kind of slow everything down and embrace it while it's here for sure. So, and I do want to say thanks to everybody that's tuned in this season, man. This has been a lot of fun. We still got a lot of football left, but the good thing about this channel too is this don't end when the season ends. Right. We still do daily shows. We're still, as soon as the season wraps up, we're going to start diving into, all right, what are the upcoming free agents look like, right? What's the next date on the calendar? We'll start to put our draft board together and create that, get right into draft season. And then next thing you know, we're talking about training camps. So it's just all year long. So if you guys want to be a part of it, you want to support what we do here, feel free to join our Patreon community, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. It's a lot of fun over there with those guys and gals as well. So we're good, boys. Anything else?
Good. Appreciate it.
Go. See you tomorrow. Talk some more ball. Get ready for the Bears on Sunday.
Right. So let's all get rested up. We will see y'all tomorrow. Like I said, I'll probably go live once during the day, and then we'll see if we'll do an evening show. But definitely be ready for game day as well. We'll be doing a pregame show, postgame show, all that good stuff. No Saturday games this week, right, for the NFL. I think that starts next week where they start to tie into that. So, with that being said, that's it, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Do us a favor. Please smash that like button for us. If you were new here, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and we will see you guys and gals tomorrow. My name's Clayton. That's Emilio and Tim. This is PTA. Go Pack, go.
There we go.
Bye, guys.